All right, welcome back, everybody. And for this next part, this part 2 of video recording, yes, she is water. We've known about that since a couple of days ago. We have found, finally, the friend Jeume. As such, we're going to take a look at her and her kit as much as I can disseminate or that's probably not the right word, but I'm really tired. So anyway, let's take a look. First off, her great sword, 215 attack on the assault version, some accuracy and some critical. So there's probably a critical version and a aim version as well, probably. Defense penetration of 20, accuracy up by 15. Not just for her, but some other job classes too, including her regular version. 70%. What is that? When 70% HP is higher than 70? Magic damage resistance? Yeah, magic damage reduction by 15% when her HP is over 70%. I think I said that properly. So let's take a look at what else she has. I have thrown her on this win team just for, talking. Interestingly, she's also running the Siren card. Oh, right, she's water. Never mind. That's what you meant. Sorry, my chat is helping me and I'm tired. Let's take a look at her with an actual water party. That makes way more sense. All right. Why is she in win? Why is she not getting why is she running? Oh, Umbra's an idiot. That's why. When it's late night. So 1300 HP, 1800 attack, 48 defense, 91 accuracy. Single target resistance is 35, AoE is 22, 120 speed. For comparison against other characters in this party, this is Preen. Over here we have Old. So she is friggin' fast. She is actually really, really friggin' fast with almost the HP of an actual tank, closer to. So pretty decently statted. Net resistances are on pretty much the positive side. 35% for slash, 27% for strike, 35 for magic, 10 for spear. It's pretty decent. Taking a look, let's take a look at a few other things. So counter ability. Looks like it is just damage. Preemptive counter with a very wide range. So that's not terrible. I mean, it's not damage resistance at all. So it's not helping her survive, but she's got a lot of HP, so maybe it's not necessarily a big problem for her. Preemptive counters are curious, and this is enough range, like 4 panels. Interesting. All right, take a look here. So one of her new ones seems to be just speed and jump. So that makes sense as to one of the extra sources she was getting for speed. Other one, defense. Oh my goodness. A bunch of stuff, but focus. Defense penetration rate, slash attack resistance penetration rate, and range attack resistance 2. All right, sub abilities. Damage targets within range, reduces attack, magic, and speed for 3 turns. Jump 3 definitely has uses. Good for movement. Let's take a look here. Don't act that prevents targets up to 2 targets from taking action for other than move for 3 turns. So she has disable on her ability. There's no leveling up, so it's no damage. It's just disable, but it's a select 2 target by the look of it. Oh, I already looked at that Umbra. Let's go check something else. All right, so this should be her defense shred. Increases slash attack resistance penetration for 3 turns. Removes protection from targets within range. Reduces damage large after reducing a certain percentage of area resistance for 3 turns. Reduces magic attack resistance penetration rate and healing power for 3 turns. So that's one ability. Next ability looks to be a barrier or something. When HP falls below 50%, restore a certain percentage, increase own defense, gives an effect that absorbs part of the damage dealt. All right, next up. Hits target with 100% accuracy, restores own AP when making enemy unable to fight, damages the target. Okay, decent, but not amazing. Wall of text ability, which I think we already went over this one. Grants an effect that reduces magic damage taken by allies within range or centered around yourself, so an aura style effect. Increases single target attack resistance, grants an effect that removal of immortal spirit. Yeah, we already talked about this ability before. Re-raise removal on an AoE ability. And the last one, damage after removing all enhancements from up to 2 targets. So that should be all of her abilities now that we've taken a look at. Really decently statted, I must say. Dude, I wonder how I do this effectively. Oh, that's a little annoying. I don't want to keep him in. If we're going to do a test, I haven't thought too terribly much about this. Just kind of throwing a bunch of units in. Just for like really just super quick testing. Not even like thinking about it too terribly much. Because this is still my guild raid thing. Yep. Take that off. That off. And then just bear with me here. Sorry doing this editing live. Team editing, not anything. This. All right. I don't know. I don't really want to think about it too. All right, so that should be generally okay. 1,000, 1,600. Her stats are really decent. That's fine. That's not. I know it doesn't work super well, but I'm just kind of scrambling to get this mildly decent. Wind VCs. Wind. Can't even think of what the wind VC are right now. No, although that one with human killer works on Jeume, which is kind of fun. Speed. Oh yeah, all those other VCs would have been powering her. I don't know. Super scuffed, maybe. But also not in the right place to test this either. Nope. Still having trouble getting to the right spot that we want to actually test this out on. And we'll see if Mont is not up yet, which is curious, but let's go. Let's see how she performs. In a really hastily thrown together team. A major thing to me is I'm just curious about specifically like resistances and whatnot, you know, like barriers, doing all of this. So let's just take a quick peek. Our limit burst costs 49 AP, pretty expensive. So given that we've only cast a few abilities, that seems pretty decent damage off the get-go. Single target. No, this is AoE, sorry, that's one of her subs. So without really buffing herself at all, here's a selected target. I'd say decent damage, given that we haven't really done much. That one is looking considerably weaker, but then again, water VCs probably needed to shift some more stuff around. We have that one, which is survival. We're not super interested. Don't act resistant. What is the... Pretty garbage, actually. Seems pretty garbage. All right, 100 different thousand things were activated. Next up, if I remember correctly, this is a character that also has, hopefully, wotvcalc will actually. The King of Leon. That's the one I'm looking for. Increase distance-based one. Yeah. So we kind of want to just do all of these power-ups and see if the actual is removing these kind of aura style effects. So that's resistances, specific damage types. I do believe that this is the one we want. And we're gonna just test it, see how it works. Flag Glassy. I also want her barrier. So basically, we've thrown essentially everything here at in terms of like buffs and everything. So now we should have a pretty good opportunity to test out and see how much it actually does. Meanwhile, all our enemies are just going to continue doing whatever they're doing. All right, so Limit Burst got a discount. Limit Burst dealing about 4,000? And I need to refresh myself on what her Limit Burst does. Resist all attribute resistance down. Oh, I really want to test that out, but probably have to wait. It's this ability, right? This is the one we're curious about, the wide one, whether or not it removes stuff, correct? Removes protection from targets within range. Now, what's important is we need some kind of measurement here. So if we look here, Glassy is getting 345 points of damage right now. And it's about 2,000, 4,000 for each one. So theoretically, if we were getting just removing everything off of, and old is taking a bunch of pain here. That was like 300 and 2,000. So theoretically, this should remove all the protection and shred AoE. Also, really quickly, so like her AoE resistance is at 90 right now. Down to 53. So she got chopped pretty hard. And we kind of just need to pass a bunch of turns here. And wait, hopefully, till we get to Jeume. Now, if I'm correct, this ability should now do more. And it does. Right? On average, it's just doing more now. So Jeume, I mean, there's so many things active. No, I don't think so. We have to, let me just jump around and see. I don't think anybody's in negative AoE. Oh, shoot. I'm way over on the other side. No, because it's percentage shred. So if you have 0 AoE defense, or you have zero AoE resistance, you can't take away from it. It just shreds a percentage of it. So if you have one AoE resistance, 1% AoE resistance, and you take 60% away from it, or whatever percentage you do, that's how much you have left, right? So for instance, a character like Glassy, who had 90, loses way more than the other characters who had less before. Like for instance, it's not a specific set number. It can't go into negative. It can only go down. But like if a character has stacked like 140 AoE resistance, theoretically, like 60% would do much more to making that character much weaker. The question here is, are auras gone? And it definitely seems like the attacks are doing way more now. Like, because Jeume's attacks previous turn, and it could be that some things expired, but if I'm counting turns correctly, it should have still been active for more turns than it was. Also just checking again to see how much the like AoE does here. $35. I mean, it does seem like it's gotten rid of some of the protection off of certain characters, but positioning here, It's a little difficult to keep track of. So the next thing I'm curious about is limit burst, because it says that all attribute attack resistance. If we take a look here at our guy, who's at 35, 18, 5, and 35%. Oh, this is getting real close to killing. Well, forgive me. But also, take a look at how much this limit burst is doing now. It is doing considerably more than it was previously. So it does seem to be a cancel effect. Whoa. Oh, it's a tribute resistance? Did I mistranslate that? It's not attack type resistance, it's actually a tribute. It's 20% down for everything. Curious. Oh, it's elemental resistance. Okay, that's my bad. I must have misremembered it. That's pretty mean. On a limit burst that only costs 33 AP that can hit a bunch, and it hits pretty hard after that first AoE ability. I don't know. Alright, well, I think we've hurt our characters enough. Maybe it's time that we actually, you know... Let's see how hard Jeume can take a hit. Alright, now it's time to get revengeance. No. So, even off of this character, which I wouldn't say that Ferris is particularly a incredibly, like, resilient character, this AoE attack, doing a fair share, and it does make sense. She doesn't have extremely high AoE, but I want this ability also because of the very minute amount of healing. Good God. I'm not even sure that was worth the price of admission. Just woof, our healing got nuked. Alright, Fly Glassy over here. Just hit her with the limit burst. Yeah, AoE she seems quite weak to. The tank, probably important for that reason. Single target, fairly damage resistant. I wouldn't say incredible or anything, but I wouldn't say awful either. AoEs are much more her weakness, so AoE resistance is generally easier to come by. That's probably fine. Alright, we will let our characters do some stuff. Hopefully they won't die. Totally intentional. It was absolutely luring our foes in. But given that she has a fair amount of DPS capability and she can restore HP in proportion to how much damage she does, she seems very, very competent as a damage dealer. She has a little bit of support in there too, but it's all like incidental. It's coming along with her other abilities, which are already pretty good. I think I'm going to classify her as being a really strong unit. Like, very kind of supports this idea of just being anti-magic type damage, but could be useful in multiple different teams with elemental resistance down, and might even be just really great in a great sword team that has just multiple different elements to it and facets to it. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty impressed with Jeume thus far, with just, you know, a very, very helter-skelter thrown together version of her on a initial test. But it seems like it's doing what we were kind of hoping it would be doing. Either that or it's removing enough protection that it doesn't really matter. It's just generally good. So I'm going to give an initial thumbs up for Jeume, and hopefully that will interest everybody else to check her out too. If anything changes, I will make another video tomorrow morning, but thanks so much for watching. Here, see you later.